What's up, boys? A little bit of Vendetta spoilers here. I think this is the last 2 days. Today's July 18th. I'm a little bit sick, if you can't tell. This is the last of the Vendetta spoilers. The last of them. So, deck building videos and gameplay videos coming soon. Hopefully, there's some good pike decks, good pike cards. And other decks. We'll try Nasus. We'll try Cannon. We'll try everything. But yeah, stay tuned if you want to see these spoilers. What's up, boys? Here we got Auroch General, 5 energy, 5 might, average stats, empower for 3 energy, 1 power, and it says empowered, while empowered, and your units that are empowered have +2. This is obviously going to be played in like an Ambessa type of shell. Pretty average card unless you have like a lot of the small empowerable creatures or units, I should say. Overall, pretty average card, like pretty decent top end, kind of like an Under Titan, I guess, but it just costs way more for your empowered units. We'll see how it plays out. I doubt this is going to see that much play, but you just never know, right? Next, we have Bakai Witherclaw. 4 energy for 4 might unit. It has Empower 1 and 2 power. Empowered, I have +2, and Empowered, it also has Death Knell, Channel 2 runes, Exhausted. So it kind of pays for itself when it dies. Actually, not a bad card at all. If you think about it, the 2 power is pretty hefty. If he somehow finds a way to banish it, then you're behind big time. That's the only downfall with this card, I think. Otherwise, pretty decent card. Just the empower costs. You just have to. It's a late game sort of investment where you get the cards back after the death knell. But if you play around it, you could be screwed. If it's you're playing around it and you have it on your side of the field and you can little invest into the future, then it's not a bad card at all. It kind of pays for itself, anyways. But yeah. Here we have an interesting card, Covert Informant, 3 energy, 1 power for a 4 might unit. It has Empower 3, and then while empowered, it has when I move, draw 1. This card just gets outshined by Stellacorn in pretty much every single way. It's Stellacorn is just better in every way, I think. Yeah. And plus Stellacorn can be used in a Kali where this can't. I can't. Maybe in a blue deck you have a lot of movement spells. You want to play this if you're low on cards or something like that. But can't really get this. Can't really see this seeing too much play. Maybe if you have a lot of extra energy in a Nasus deck and you have some movement from the green, maybe. Yeah, overall, this card could be maybe seen in competitive. We'll see. Here we have Forsaken Bakai. 2 energy for 2 might. It says if you control fewer runes than your opponent at the start of your beginning phase, then give me +1 this turn. Obviously, this is an offensive card for Renekton. If you're going second, you might be able to conquer some battlefields that they have a 2-drop on, because you're going to be spending runes and having less than your opponent. Yeah. Otherwise, this is a pretty average card. Might see some play in Renekton. You never know. Here we have a very interesting card. Actually, I think this will see some play. Legion Marauder, 2 energy, 2 might. Pretty standard 2-drop, but it has Empower 1 energy or 1 power, and it has while I'm empowered, I have +1 might. This card is actually, I think, is going to see some pretty good amount of play in like Ambessa, where you just want to cheapen power. And we just saw the Auroch General, and this is going to give it +2 if that's in there. So later in the game, it'll have a little bit of value. But having a 2-drop that can turn into a 3 might unit is actually pretty impressive and interesting. If you're going second, you can take some battlefields where they have their 2 might unit on the battlefield. But yeah, I think this will actually see some play. Here we have an interesting card, very interesting card. 6 energy, 1 power for a 6 might unit in purple. It's Mina Swiftfoot. When I move to a battlefield, choose 1. Each player discards a card, or each player draws a card. Don't really know what to say about this one. I can't really see this seeing too much play in much decks. I mean, if you play this to a battlefield, ride the wind to the other battlefield and bring it back to base, you get 2 activations. in the same turn. But otherwise, this is a pretty. If it said maybe discard 2, I think this would be a lot more impactful. But otherwise, it's just a pretty standard like 6 for 6 energy, 1 power for a 6 might unit. Isn't that impressive? I mean, Ferris Forerunner just kind of outshines this in like pretty much every way, where you get 12 power for the same price. Yeah, we'll see if this sees any play though. Here we have another green card, Serene Ascetic, 3 energy, 3 might, and it has Empower 3. While empowered, I have Deflect and Shield 3. This is a pretty good card in like Shen, probably. Definitely a defensive card where you're trying to hold, obviously, with the Shield 3. The Deflect is also nice. I think this is a pretty decent card for a 3-drop in any green deck that's trying to hold, say, Vex or Shen. I think this will see some play in certain decks for sure, yeah. Here we have a red card, Shadow Fiend. 2 energy, 2 might with Empower, 2 energy, and 1 power. And it says, while empowered, I have Assault 3. This card's pretty okay. It's not incredible. I think Sharkling is probably a little bit better than this, even though it's 1 energy more. But it has Accelerate, so it's like you get it out in like the same turn, but with less cost to it. If you're playing Pike, you just bounce it. I mean, like, it's probably gonna die after the assault pops off, anyways, for both units. It's kind of just a little bit worse Sharkling, I think. But yeah, this could see some play as a 2-drop. You just never know, right? Here you have the last battlefield of Vendetta, Shadow Temple. When you hold here, burn 3. So this is actually very interesting for burn decks in general, where you're trying to get things in your trash. I think this could definitely see play in decks with like Kennen and Zed, where we're trying to get things in the trash and use flow and banish things from from the trash to get assault. Very interesting. Definitely gonna see some play. Shock Blast, 3 energy, 1 power, and it has action. It says this spell costs 2 less if you control something that's empowered. Deal 4 to a unit at a battlefield. This card is very interesting. If you have that researcher and it's empowered, this thing costs 1 energy, and or no, or even if you, maybe you can even stack the cost reductions, and have this be free, which would just be absurd. Deal 4 for a unit at a battlefield is pretty much the same as Void Seeker. Has action, is pretty much the same thing, but if you control something empowered, then it's a Hextech Ray, but it deals 1 extra damage. Honestly, I think this card is pretty good and will see some play in certain decks. We'll see how the cost reductions stack to see if you can get it for free with the researcher. But yeah, pretty good card actually. Here we have a pretty average card, maybe a little bit above average. Soul Spinner, 3 energy, 3 might with Ambush in yellow. This is what Shen needed, I think. He needed a good ambush unit this set so that you can have exactly 2 units there. Overall, this card is, I think we'll see some play in maybe like Shen if you can't afford the Vise or something. It's a pretty cheap unit. Cost wise, I would imagine it's a common. Definitely gonna see some play though, I believe. Yeah. Tornado Warrior, 3 energy, 3 might with Hidden, which is already good stats for a hidden card. It says when you play me from face down, you may empower something here. Disempower it at end of turn. Obviously, this is going to be great with Karox, where when it's empowered, you burn 3 from your opponent's deck, and then you bring a unit from their trash to your battlefield. You can just do this on the fly with at reaction speed. They can't do anything about it if you have Karox and this at the same battlefield. It just that's the only combo that I can really see that would be that impactful. It's also in purple. Karox is also in purple, so they combo well with each other. Definitely could see a combo deck of that nature. Otherwise, just a 3 energy, 3 might unit with Hidden is just pretty decent overall. I think this card's definitely gonna see some play competitively. That's all we have for today, folks. Like and subscribe. That's all those spoilers for Vendetta. We're going to have some gameplay videos coming out. Hopefully some Pike. Hopefully some older decks as well as newer decks. So yeah, stay tuned. Stay informed. And play Riftbound, boys.